Hello everyone, welcome to our first live lesson for our arts media course. So how this works is that every day at noon, I'm going to be available for live chat. So all you do is you go into the agenda, there will be a hyperlink, you just click on live lesson, it will take you, if you are here already, it'll take you right here, and then you have the opportunity to ask questions to me directly, or in some cases, I will be letting you know that I will be doing some exemplars in terms of what to expect for an upcoming assignment, be creating art pieces kind of on the spot, and then you can hop in and have a look, ask questions, etc., or not, and just watch. For those of you that cannot attend every day at noon, that is okay. These lessons are recorded, and what will happen is after they're done recording, I just insert them on our home page. If you look right under calendar, I believe, or updates, on your right-hand side, it'll say live lesson recordings, and then the dates will be right there as well. So if you miss it, you can every day you can just go on and play the video later on, so you won't miss anything in terms of instruction or expectations or anything like that. So that's kind of how they work. So for today it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to walk you through a couple of things that are posted in lesson 1. And just a reminder again, in regards to how the course is structured, you cannot access Unit 1, Lesson 1, unless you have completed the task prior. So in this case, it would be the originality report, which is the very first thing you had to complete. After that, Lesson 1 opens, and then Lesson 2, Lesson 3, etc. So just keep that in mind. If links aren't working, it's not that they're broken, it's that you haven't completed the task before, and it won't show up until you do. So I'm going to dive right in. I'm going to switch my screen so you can hear me, but you won't see me. You're actually going to see my screen. And that helps to identify we're going to see the same thing, basically. So here's our course. I'm going to go under content. I'm going to go under lesson 1. It's the elements and principles of design. There we go. And you'll notice it is, of course, a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to let that open up. And basically what this is this is more of a knowledge piece, right? So this is more so about memorizing what the elements and what the principles are. And to any art course, to any creative course, knowing what the elements and principles are the basic foundation for any piece. So it's really important that we sort of go through the PowerPoint, recognize some of the examples that are there, and I'm sorry that my computer is taking longer to load than I thought. But it is really, really important that we recognize what the elements and principles are, because in our upcoming lessons, we will be learning how to use them, how to apply them. So here we go. Let me just enable so I can maneuver a little bit here more comfortably. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Let's try that again. Enable. There we go. So going through our PowerPoints and our slides, I'm going to leave it on this screen for now. So it's our basic building blocks. So understanding that within elements, you have line, shape and form, space, value, texture, and color. And then, of course, each slide has sort of a definition as well as specific examples of what that term is, some straightforward than others. Shape versus form, the idea of something being more organic rather than geometric, the idea of space itself and sort of how space is deliberately used and incorporated within photography, within art, again, where we have, again, space captured purposefully, in other cases, less space captured purposefully, and how does that impact your image? How does that impact your composition? The idea of value, so where you want to create your highlights. Um, and of course, we think of our black and whites where we have our darker tone, creating the sense of distance, of perspective, can be quite beautiful, whether you're painting, whether you're drawing, whether you're taking photography, sculpture, doesn't matter. All elements and principles can be applied to any medium that you are using. Of course, texture and sort of how that plays into capturing different elements as well. Color, understanding the concept of hues, And then we go right into our principles. And sometimes I find students struggle more with principles than anything in terms of really sort of capturing how emphasis, balance, unity, the concept of contrast, movement, rhythm, and pattern and repetition, and sort of how that creates really interesting pieces. And understanding that artists make these decisions very, very purposefully, right? It's really rare that it's an accident that you're seeing or sort of experiencing a composition kind of spontaneously. Usually, artists are very, very meticulous in terms of how they set up their compositions and their pieces. So the idea of balance and sort of how something plays from one side to another, the idea of unity, going through and looking at something and how do you know when something's finished? How do you not just keep working on a piece and over and over and over and over? Like, how do you know when you look at something it sort of feels unified and it feels completed? So it's just basically for the first lesson, it's going through these slides, understanding these terms, and I'm going to flip back over here to our there we go, to our page here. And then it was filling out our work, our worksheets. Now, a few students asked me, how do I complete the sketches portion? Well, you can copy and paste examples right into the worksheet. Some students will feel more comfortable to print, sketch right on the piece of paper, and then take a picture and kind of upload it back to me. Either way, I'm comfortable either way as long as you are. Just make sure that you are putting in those examples because they're really important. These sheets are to be created for quick reference, more for you for studying and for assignments. And at the bottom of every lesson, I always have our success criteria. So that's basically okay. What have you learned or what should you know before moving on to the next lesson? So that's kind of what our first lesson looks like. And our second lesson is artists working with the elements and principles. And this actually, I thought was really, really neat. So artists that are working within the elements and principles of design within our own community. So I actually captured some images around Barrie. I captured some images around Aurelia as well. And these artists, I mean, there were so many, I just attached the link, but in Toronto, the concept of street art and graffiti art in regards to how the elements and principles sort of come together and create sometimes more abstract but beautifully and unified pieces as well. And then, of course, we have our Google Doc that I'm looking for some images for you to share as well within your community. So I think I'm going to stop there in regards to going through the first two lessons so far. And again, as we continue tomorrow, I'm going to give a live lesson and be very specific on the exemplars for your project. That's going to be upcoming next week as well. So super, super excited about that. And I hope this was helpful for those that watch a little later on. And if you have any questions, as always, guys, please let me know and I'd be happy to help. Have a great day.